Hey presto, here we are. 2023 is drawing to a close. 5 major elections have been held, 4 of whose results will be out in just a few hours. In Madhya Pradesh, in Rajasthan, in Telangana and in Chhattisgarh. Remember, the counting for Mizoram is scheduled to take place tomorrow. A lot of fates are at stake at the local level of politics, at the state level, at the national level. Let's face it, the politicians are all in it to win it. There will be broken hearts and there will be jubilation. The polls have predicted advantage for the Bharatiya Janata Party in Rajasthan and in Madhya Pradesh, advantage for the Congress in Chhattisgarh, perhaps even a shock upset defeat of the BRS in Telangana. So let's see what's going to take place over the course of the next few hours. Ladies and gentlemen, as we speak, it's the clock has struck just past 7 a.m., which means that the poll counting is set to begin. Now, you know the drill, as I have for a long period of time covering this. We have people at dozens and dozens of locations across these 4 states. Because every time a round of counting happens, in this case, the first round is going to be the postal ballots, which are still done on paper. The election officer comes and posts the results. Literally, they paste them on the wall of the counting center, and then people go and check what's happened. And a lot of, from dozens of these constituencies, we'll be getting it as they are posted there. For several others, we'll be relying, of course, on the Election Commission, whose data does get uploaded on their website, and which will give us an indication. If the contest is close, it's going to run late into the afternoon. If it's a sweep one way or the other, well, by about 10-11, we'll know how the states are going. Let's open up this telecast. My colleague Pia joining us. Let's kick this off with Rajasthan. Pia is going to remind you of what the figures in 2018 were. What's the benchmark that we are pacing ourselves against this morning? Pia, over to you.
Indeed, Rishabh. Let's take a look first at the exit polls itself. NewsX has conducted a poll of polls, and of course, as you stated earlier, edge for the BJP. They are projected to get around 104 seats. Congress set to bag around 83. Meanwhile, other or independent candidates may bag around 12. And speaking of the Congress party, they are of course in power currently. Let's take a look at the 2018 results and how exactly the Congress and the Bharatiya Janata Party had fared the last time around. In particular, right there you can see the map of Rajasthan. In 2018, it was rather blue. The Congress had bagged 100 seats, the Bharatiya Janata Party 73. Speaking of regional players, the BSP bagged 6 seats, RLD 1, CPIM 2, RLP 3 and BTP 2, and independent candidates bagged about 13 seats. The projections, of course, for the independents remaining around the same. Let's also take a look at how exactly the voters of Rajasthan casted their vote. Their mandate last time, of course, went towards the Congress. The Congress bagged about 39.30% vote share. The BJP's vote share was rather close to at 38.77. Speaking about the regional players, the BSP had about 4% of the vote share, RLP 2.4, CPIM 1.2, BTP 0.7, RLD 0.3, and independent candidates cumulatively gathered about 9.5% of the vote share. But let's take a look at how exactly Rajasthan fared as far as the Lok Sabha results is concerned. Remember, this is a semi-final, as was the case back in 2018 too. Even as the Congress bagged the power in the assembly elections, the Bharatiya Janata Party had a clean sweep in Rajasthan a mere 6 months later in the 2019 Lok Sabha polls, bagging all 25 of 25 seats. And let's also move ahead to take a look at some other statistics that we are presenting for our viewers regarding Rajasthan itself. There's a short comparison that we have.
Okay.
But regardless, back to you, Rishabh.
We'll come back and do this state by state. Okay, so you have a benchmark. What that figure, and the reason that is important is because I told you that 0.5% of vote share difference covered government formation versus no government formation if you're sitting in the Congress or the BJP camp in Rajasthan. Just 6 months later, it was a totally different picture because 10% sweep for the BJP in the national election. So polls are complex. That's why they're fascinating. It's called the wisdom of the crowd. My colleagues and all our senior editors are out on the field this morning. Megha Sharma is in Jaipur. Uday Pratap Singh also in Jaipur. I also have with us Jay Prakash, who will be live out of Telangana's capital, Deepak Vishwakarma joining us out of the Chhattisgarh capital, and Chetan Seth joining us out of Bhopal this morning. Let's kick it off from the state that we've started with, Rajasthan College. Megha Sharma, my colleague and executive editor, is there. Megha, you were out and about in the city streets. How's the anticipation building? Are people absorbing the election results, or are they really keenly waiting what happens by the end of day today?
Absolutely. A very good morning to all our viewers. I'm standing live over here at the Rajasthan College in Jaipur, a very important, crucial district where there are as many as 19 constituencies, 8 of them in the urban part of Jaipur, and this is also a flip district where we last saw that it was the Congress that ended up winning 5 of these urban constituencies over here. There are these Muslim dominated communities, particularly in Hawa Mahal constituency that we visited yesterday. Now, there's a lot of anticipation, like you rightfully mentioned. Behind me, there is this massive barricading that has been put up. There are some dozens and dozens of these CAPF personnel that have been set up. There are a number of these election commission cars that are coming and going out. We are not allowed to stand right outside of the college for obvious reasons. The voting and the counting that had happened on the 25th of November and counting that happens today is going to start at 8 a.m. We are eagerly awaiting how is the forecast that has been given by the exit polls going to play out. Is it going to be the Congress win? Is it going to be the BJP? Is it going to be a tough fight? In fact, we were talking to a number of these analysts. I had some spokespersons from Rajasthan, from Jaipur, from the BJP and the Congress's side. And it looks like a tight fight, could it be a repeat of 2018 is what everybody at this point of time is speculating. So like I said, Jaipur, an important district. Last time around in 2013, it had been one major of the constituencies, the 19 ones that are fought over here in Jaipur district were won by the BJP. 2018, it was the Congress that took over. What is going to be the fate of Jaipur remains to be seen. So we are excited about this. We are understanding that by 11:30, 12, things are going to be clearer.
Like I said, if it's close, it might go on a bit longer. And sometimes in a few crucial seats, if it comes down to the wire, it goes on till late evening. Uday Pratap Singh is also standing by. Uday, what's the buzz on the ground? Where are the nerves? Where's the sense of excitement? Because there seems to be a general consensus that the BJP perhaps has the edge. But what's the buzz on the ground with people you've been speaking to?
Absolutely, Rishabh. It has truly been a riveting Rajasthan election, which we've, of course, been covering extensively right here on NewsX, from the campaign trail all the way till the voting day. And then, of course, the exit poll predictions. Now it is D-Day, the results day. Interestingly, this is not, the average election where in Rajasthan every 5 years, it's but obvious that there is going to be a repeat in, that there is going to be a change in government, because Rivaz Rajasthan mein hai that, 5 years BJP, 5 years Congress. It's been alternating for the last 2 decades. However, this time around, yes, the edge certainly with the BJP, as many analysts on ground are saying, and exit polls have also predicted, but it's a kante ki takkar. It's extremely close, with the Congress not out of the race. Interestingly, in Rajasthan on ground, people have been saying against CM Gehlot personally, there is not much anti-incumbency because of his schemes and policies, but against his MLAs, there's been a lot of anti-incumbency. Interestingly, a lot of those MLAs, though, saved his government twice from getting toppled, so he did not cut many of their tickets, which is why the election this time is interesting. For the BJP, there have been a lot of rebels this time contesting who may end up damaging the party. So that's something we're going to have to wait and watch and see. That others block on the bottom of our screen, which right now is 0, but will begin to get full as the day progresses. If I quickly show you right now, Rishabh, where I'm standing, this is the entrance for the 2 counting centers of Rajasthan today, of Jaipur rather, the Commerce College and the Rajasthan College. So this is where the cars and the barriers have been put in place to stop the cars. So from early morning, there have been a steady stream of counting agents, election officials, police officials, other Karyakartas and others are being stopped here. All the 19 seats of Jaipur, both Jaipur city and rural, are going to be counted at this particular polling center behind me. You can see there big police presence, of course, stopping those who do not have a valid pass. I'll quickly get in my colleague Vishnu Sharma, who's of course been tracking this election for NewsX and India News. कोई प्रत्याशी यहाँ सुबह से पहुंचा है या ये ज्यादातर काउंटिंग एजेंट्स हैं?
देखिए, अभी तक काउंटिंग एजेंट्स यहाँ पे आ रहे हैं और 8 बजे मतगणना शुरू होगी। 8 बजे के बाद बैलेट पेपर गिने जाएंगे, उसके बाद 8:30 बजे ईवीएम्स खोली जाएंगी। 199 जो प्रदेश के जो चुनाव हो रहे हैं 199 सीटों पे, उन तमाम जो लोगों का भाग्य ईवीएम्स में कैद है। अगर जयपुर की बात की जाए तो 2019 में तस्वीर बदली थी। जयपुर में जो 19 सीटें उनमें से 10 कांग्रेस ने जीती, 6 बीजेपी ने जीती, 3 निर्दलीय ने जीती थी, जिन्होंने कांग्रेस को समर्थन दिया। 2018 से पहले बीजेपी का गढ़ जयपुर जिला माना जाता था, लेकिन 2018 में तस्वीर बदली और कांग्रेस ने बाजी मारी।
इस बार देखना होगा कि क्या होगा। एंड रिमेंबर जयपुर, ऋषभ, these 19 seats that Vishnu was referring to, these are heavyweights like Rajyavardhan Rathore is in the fray here, Diya Kumari is in the fray here, the Congress minister and prominent media face Pratap Singh Khachariawas is in the fray here, former BJP state president and deputy leader in the of opposition, Satish Punia, he's also in the fray in these 19 seats. If we talk very quickly about the two leaders of both the parties, CM Ashok Gehlot camped in Jaipur. 4 observers have been appointed by the Congress party, including Bhupender Singh Hooda, Mukul Vasnik. They are being dispatched to Jaipur as we speak. BJP, Vasundhara Raje, the stalwart leader, she's been on a Mandir Darshan yesterday. She went to Mehndipur, Balaji in Dausa and Moti Dungri Ganeshji in Jaipur. So she's obviously praying for the BJP success. Will the prayers be answered? That we'll know in some time.
Okay, all right. Uday Megha, stay on with us. So let's set the stage. For people watching the broadcast, quick reminder. It's rather obvious, but right below me, on the bottom of the screen, that's the Rajasthan results. So you'll see them start ticking on. By about 8:39, you get the first leads and trails. On top is Madhya Pradesh and their Telangana and Chhattisgarh. Remember, Mizoram elections results will only be out tomorrow. Pia is back with me, and this time breaking down Telangana for us. Pia, over to you.
Yes, indeed. First up, let's take a look at what the exit polls predict. In fact, the exit polls have predicted that the Congress is likely to win. We've done a poll of polls. Congress is likely to bag around 63 seats. BJP projected to bag around 7. AIMIM expected to bag around 4 seats. The BRS are likely to be ousted out of power. They might get around 43 seats. So it's fairly close in Telangana. But let's take a look at how exactly Telangana fared back in 2018 itself. Talking about 2018, of course, Telangana is the youngest state in India. The BRS, earlier the TRS, had bagged about 88 seats. You can see the map there is mostly pink. Congress coming in second with 21 seats. The AIMIM bagged 7. The Bharatiya Janata Party had 1 seat. And meanwhile, independent candidates bagged about 2 seats. Let's also take a look at the vote share. BRS bagged 88 seats and had about 46.87% of the vote share. About 28.43% of the voters had voted for Congress. 2.71 voted for AIMIM. 3.51 for the TDP, although they did not bag any seat. And 6.98% for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Meanwhile, independent candidates cumulatively bagged around 11.50%. Taking a look, meanwhile, at the assembly polls that had taken place earlier in 2014. Remember, Telangana was formed in 2014. The BRS, earlier the TRS, of course, had won back then too. They had bagged 63 seats. Congress, in fact, had about 21, then 2. A similar statistic for the AIMIM. It remains static at 7. The Bharatiya Janata Party seat share had reduced from 5 to 1 from 2014 to 2018. Meanwhile, independent candidates had 3 seats back in 2014 and 2 in 2018. This is, of course, another crucial statistic that we're presenting to you right here. You can see on the screens, this is the Lok Sabha results of 2019. The TRS had bagged 9 seats, the INC 3, AIMIM 1, and the Bharatiya Janata Party, interestingly, bagged about 4 seats, a lot more than what they did in the assembly polls in 2018. Right. Back to you, Rishabh.
Okay, Priya, well done. Careers being made even in our NewsX studio's first election result day for Priya in studio. Okay. JP is with us now. He's been in Hyderabad and traveling around Telangana for the past few days. JP, break it up for us because last time around, sweep, no big surprises that it was a sweep. In the Lok Sabha, the BJP, even though getting only 1 seat in the MLA stakes in the State Assembly in 2018, a few months later knocked off 4 MPs out of the northern part of Telangana. But JP, what's the buzz? There's a quietly confident buzz in the Congress ranks that surprise is supposed to happen. Who knows? But what's the buzz in the two camps? How is their body language shaping up?
Rishabh, when you talk about BJP, last time their vote share in 2019 parliamentary elections was 18%. And exit polls have predicted that they are going to do far better than what they did last time. Most of the exit polls have given BJP about 6 seats. That's 1 to 6 or 5 seats jump. In an assembly of 119 seats, Telangana has got 119 seats. And last time around, complete sweep. The entire Telangana was painted pink. That's the color of the TRS or now the BRS. But this time around, looks like a resurgent Congress party. There is a lot of resentment on ground as far as Telangana populace is concerned. 3.2 crore people. Jobs have been a major issue. About 1.5 crore disappointed youth who had applied various Public Service Commission exams of Telangana government. Paper leaks have happened, rampant corruptions have happened. There is a gap between governance and the people. The last mile connectivity as far as deliverance of governance has been quite absent. And this time around we are hearing something called the silent voter. Not many people are talking about it. But then, is this a narrative or is it a reality? That we will get to know in a couple of hours' time. But then, both the TRS and Congress are upbeat that they'll form the government. Telangana, of course, newly carved out state, about 10 years old now. The GDP has been much talked about. It's the highest for a state so small and so young. But then at the end of the day, people are unhappy. This is the kind of narrative that set the tone for these elections, and Congress is upbeat. We've seen carpet bombing from the Congress party, from Sonia Gandhi to Mallikarjun Kharge to both the scions of the Gandhi family, Priyanka as well as Rahul Gandhi, spending a lot of time here, holding rallies, meeting people. And it's a young brigade as far as Congress is concerned, led by Revanth Reddy. I had a chit-chat recently, and he feels that the psyche of Telangana people are something very similar to the people of West Bengal. They are fighters, and they've been constantly knocking at it. For the last 50 days, the steam picked up as far as Congress party is concerned. And the silent voter phenomenon, what is this silent voter phenomenon? That we will get to know.
Okay.
Is it exists or not?
Okay.
Well, will that convert
ladies and gentlemen, there's no denying the fact there is an excitement from the Congress. Senior Congress leaders from Karnataka, others are heading that way in Telangana to Telangana. There is a little bit of nerves in the KCR family camp, no doubt about it. They could be completely unjustified. Today they could come back with a thumping victory. Remember, the stakes are very high. The stakes are very high for the TRS, which is having national ambitions and therefore it's changed its name. This is it. Telangana is everything. There are no other few seats here and there are no other elections to fight. This you win or you lose. Let's set the stage now in Madhya Pradesh, the other big battle. The exit polls have predicted a close fight with advantage BJP. Pia is back with details. Pia, take us through them.
Indeed, as you've stated, the exit polls do in fact predict a rather close competition between the BJP and the Congress party. BJP has a slight edge in the poll of polls that we've done. They are projected to bag around 130 seats. Congress slated to bag around 94. Expectations for independents at a measly 3 seats. Let's also take a look at how exactly Madhya Pradesh has voted in the 2018 assembly polls. Of course, the Congress party had bagged victory last time, but you can see the map here showcases an almost equal number of blue and orange sort of seats. Congress bagged 114, BJP 109, SP had 1 seat and BSP 2, as well as independents bagged about 4 seats. But let's take a look at how exactly the voters had cast their votes. BJP, even though they lost the last time around in 2018, they had the greater vote share at 41.02%. Congress bagged about 40.89% of the vote share. Regional players, SP 1.30%, BSP at 5.01% of the vote share, and independent candidates bagged about cumulatively 10.43%. But also taking a look at how exactly the assembly polls in 2013 versus 2018 sort of panned out. The Congress party had lost back in 2013. They had bagged 58 seats, and you can see the map is rather orange right there on the left side of the screens. BJP swept with nearly 165 seats. SP had 0 seats, and the BSP had 4 seats. Moving on to other statistics that we have regarding Madhya Pradesh itself. As we stated earlier, this is of course the big semi-final. Even back in 2018, even as the Congress party had won a majority in the assembly polls, it was the Bharatiya Janata Party that had a near sweep. They missed it by 1 seat. They bagged 28 out of 29 Lok Sabha seats in Madhya Pradesh. Back to you, Rishabh.
Yeah, thanks. Chetan, my colleague, is standing by in Bhopal. Chetan, what's the feeling? What's the buzz on the ground? Kisko tension hai? Kisi ko anticipation hai? Or is it so close that really nobody knows how it's going to go in a few hours?
देखिए, एग्जिट पोल जब से आई हैं और इस एग्जिट पोल ने राजनीतिक पार्टियों में हलचल बढ़ा दी है। बीजेपी ने कभी सोचा नहीं था कि 140 से 160 सीटों में एग्जिट पोल बताएगी, लेकिन कांग्रेस के तमाम नेता जो दावा कर रहे थे कि मध्य प्रदेश में कांग्रेस की सरकार आएगी और 140 सीटें लगभग कांग्रेस की आएंगी, लेकिन अब जो है उनका मनोबल डाउन होते हुए नजर आ रहा है, क्योंकि जिस तरीके से 2013 के विधानसभा चुनाव में बीजेपी को 46% वोट शेयर मिला था, कांग्रेस को 44%, और 2018 के विधानसभा चुनाव में 41% वोट शेयर जो है बीजेपी को मिला था और 40% कांग्रेस को। तो कहा जा सकता है कि दोनों ही पार्टियों में कड़ा मुकाबला है। यहाँ पर अगर बात की जाए, क्योंकि लाडली बहना योजना जिस तरीके से मध्य प्रदेश में चुनावी कैंपेन चलाया और चुनाव से ठीक 5 महीने पहले एक योजना की शुरुआत की जाती है जिसमें पूरे मध्य प्रदेश की तमाम जो लाडली बहनाएं उनको साधने की कवायद की जाती है। इसके साथ ही बीजेपी ने पहले एक में चुनाव आचार संहिता घोषित होने के 1 महीने पहले अपनी सूची जारी की, जिसमें 39 प्रत्याशियों को चुनावी मैदान में उतारा। जो 39 प्रत्याशी ऐसी सीटें थी जिन पर कांग्रेस लंबे समय से जीतती आई है और बीजेपी चुनाव हारती आई है। उन सीटों पर बीजेपी अपनी राज्य सरकार की और केंद्र सरकार की जो योजनाएं थी वो पहुंचाने में कामयाब रही। तो एक बड़ा मुकाबला ये भी माना जा रहा है। और कई जिस तरीके से मध्य प्रदेश में सट्टा बाजार की सर्वे आया और एग्जिट पोल आया, तो माना जा रहा है कि मध्य प्रदेश में कांटे की टक्कर है और एक बार फिर मध्य प्रदेश में 2018 का चुनाव रिपीट होने वाला है। 2018 की अगर बात करें तो 114 सीटें कांग्रेस की आई थी और 109 सीटें बीजेपी की आई थी, लेकिन उसके बाद 15 महीने सरकार चली, उसके बाद फिर बीजेपी सत्ता में काबिज हो गई। मध्य प्रदेश में तो कहा जा सकता है कि दोनों ही राजनीतिक पार्टियों में अपनी अपनी तैयारी पूरी कर ली है। इस वक्त मैं भोपाल में बीजेपी कार्यालय में मौजूद हूं और बीजेपी कार्यालय में ये आप देख सकते हैं कुछ ही समय बाद जो है नेताओं का यहाँ पर आने जाने का सिलसिला जो शुरू हो जाएगा, क्योंकि 7 बजे से यहाँ पर जो सैनिकों के वोट हैं पहले उनकी गिनती होगी, उसके बाद 8 बजे जब ईवीएम खुलेगी तो सबसे पहले जो दूसरे वोट है उनकी गिनती को 8:30 बजे से जनता ने जो वोट डाले हैं उनकी गिनती शुरू हो जाएगी। तो कहा जा सकता है कि आज लगभग 11 से 12 बजे तय हो जाएगा कि मध्य प्रदेश में क्या होने वाला है, किसकी सरकार आने वाली है। कमल एक बार फिर खिलेगा या कमलनाथ की मध्य प्रदेश में सरकार बनेगी। ये आज 11 और 12 बजे तय हो जाएगा, क्योंकि मध्य प्रदेश की तमाम जनता
there at the BJP headquarters there you can clearly see it's quiet now. Either it's going to remain quiet through the course of the day, because in 2013 it was a thumping victory. And a thumping victory, ladies and gentlemen, it is no mean feat. There was a thumping victory for Shivraj coming back for the 3rd time. Then in 2018, even though the BJP marginally had a better vote share, but it was so close that 0.3% of the vote share was the difference in the Congress having an advantage of 5 seats. And that was the difference in government formation. Did not last. Remember, Jyotiraditya Scindia went across, took some of the MLAs with him, and hey presto, 2-3 years later, it was Shivraj Singh Chauhan back as Chief Minister. Can he hold on? 5th time. He's hoping that the BJP, under his leadership in the state, can form the government. Does that guarantee the 5th time he'll return as CM? We don't know, but we're going to find out. But the themology is very clear. It was a close fight, very close fight last time around. It's expected to be a close fight this time around. The correlation between what happened at the state level and at the national level was not there. The BJP had a thumping sweep across Madhya Pradesh in the Lok Sabha elections, across Rajasthan in the Lok Sabha elections, did substantially better in the Lok Sabha elections in Telangana as compared to what happened at the assembly level. So the correlation was not there. Will there be correlation? Will there be momentum? That's what we're here to have this conversation on. Let's set the stage quickly now in Chhattisgarh, where my colleagues are also standing by, and Raipur Pia is back with us with some of the information from the straight breakdown of the mathematics of what was happening in Chhattisgarh. Pia, over to you.
Indeed, flashing on your screens right now is the poll of polls that we've conducted regarding predictions for Chhattisgarh. Congress are set to have an edge. Predictions state that they can bag around 50 seats. BJP predicted to bag around 38 seats, and independent candidates likely to get 2 seats. But let's take a look at how exactly Chhattisgarh sort of panned out. The competition in Chhattisgarh panned out back in 2018. The Congress, of course, currently in power in the state. You can see the map there is largely blue. There are total number of seats is at 90. Congress bagged around 68 of those 90 seats. BJP won in 15 assembly constituencies. The JCCJ bagged about 5 seats. You can see those 5 pink seats right there on the map. BSP 2 and independent candidates at 0. But let's also take a look at how the voters had cast their votes. Right here on your screen, the vote share. The Congress, of course, had about 43% of the vote share. BJP at 33%. Regional players, the JCCJ at 7.6, BSP at 3.9, and others, that is the independents, cumulatively bagged around 2% of the vote share. Right here on your screens, assembly polls in 2013, the Bharatiya Janata Party had won that, and in 2018 it was the Congress that had bagged victory. Back to Rishabh.
Okay, Deepak Vishwakarma joining us from the capital in Chhattisgarh in Raipur. Deepak, what's the buzz? Is there a quietly confident Bhupesh Baghel? Is he feeling happy that he's retained one for the Congress this time around?
जी बिल्कुल, लेकिन जिस तरीके से जो नंबर्स आ रहे हैं, एग्जिट पोल ने जो नंबर्स दिखाए वो नंबर मुफीद नहीं है भूपेश बघेल के लिए। आपको 2.5 साल याद होगा, आपको वो 4 दावेदार याद होंगे जो मुख्यमंत्री बनने की दौड़ में थे, लेकिन बाजी मार गए भूपेश बघेल। अब भूपेश बघेल दोबारा बनेंगे या नहीं बनेंगे, इसके ऊपर कुमारी शैलजा का जो बयान है कि आला कमान तय करेगा। जो सरकार के मंत्री हैं, जब उनसे बात की जाती है तो वो भी यही कहते हैं कि आला कमान तय करेगा। यदि आला कमान तय करेगा तो ये मान लिया जाना चाहिए कि क्या दोबारा मौका मिलेगा, क्योंकि जब सरकार बनी थी तो ये नारा दिया गया था भूपेश है तो भरोसा है। लेकिन जैसे जैसे चुनाव नजदीक आए, टीएस सिंहदेव को डीसीएम बना दिया गया और उसके बाद चर्चा ये होने लगी कि कांग्रेस सरकार भरोसा बरकरार, तो भरोसा भूपेश से हटाकर कांग्रेस को दे दिया गया। तो समझा जा सकता है कि कहीं ना कहीं जिस भूपेश बघेल का नाम लेकर भरोसे की बात की जा रही थी कांग्रेस के भीतर, वो भरोसा कहीं ना कहीं कांग्रेस के भीतर ही डगमगा गया। उन्होंने अपने उस टैगलाइन को ही बदल दिया। उसने ये कह दिया कि कांग्रेस सरकार भरोसा बरकरार और भूपेश है भरोसा है, उसको भुला दिया गया। शैलजा से जब 2 दिन पहले बात हो रही थी, जो छत्तीसगढ़ की प्रभारी, उन्होंने साफ साफ कह दिया नंबर्स जो आएंगे उसके बाद आला कमान तय करेगा। और जिस तरीके से लगातार मैराथन बैठकें हुई हैं, एग्जिट पोल के बाद 2-2 बैठकें होती हैं, उन 2 बैठकों में तमाम तरह के निर्णय लिए जाते हैं, क्योंकि छत्तीसगढ़ में ये भी खबरें तैर रही हैं कि 3-3 चार्टर बुक कर लिए गए हैं। जिनको भी सर्टिफिकेट मिल जाएगा वो रायपुर राजधानी में जमा होंगे और उसके बाद यहां से कर्नाटक के लिए रवाना कर दिया जाएगा। इसके इतर यदि समझा जाए तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी भी यही करेगी। भारतीय जनता पार्टी में जब डॉक्टर रमन सिंह से बात हुई, क्योंकि शीर्ष नेता हैं, उन्होंने कह दिया हमको कहीं ले जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, हम सबको लाएंगे और यहीं रखेंगे, हमको डर नहीं है, जिसको डर होगा वो लेके जाएगा। और इस बात को मुख्यमंत्री भूपेश बघेल तो नहीं कबूल रहे, लेकिन सरकार में ही विधायक हैं, जब उनसे पूछा गया तो बोले मैंने भी ऐसा सुना है कि 3-3 चार्टर हमारे लिए बुक कर लिए गए। तो ये समझा जा सकता है कि कांग्रेस के जो नंबर्स हैं, कांग्रेस जिस एज पे आ रही है, उस एज में सबको संभाल पाना कितना मुश्किल है, क्योंकि वो तमाम दावेदार, वो 4 नाम यदि गिनाए जाए तो भूपेश बघेल स्वयं अभी मुख्यमंत्री हैं, टीएस सिंहदेव, चरणदास महंत और ताम्रध्वज साहू। अगर टीएस सिंहदेव और ताम्रध्वज साहू को देखा जाए तो ताम्रध्वज साहू इन बीते दिनों में भूपेश बघेल के करीब हुए, लेकिन आज भी हमें याद है, छोटा सा किस्सा बताता हूँ। विधानसभा का जब सत्र होता है तो विधानसभा अध्यक्ष चरणदास महंत जो वो दावेदार थे मुख्यमंत्री पद के, वो कई बार ऐसी स्थिति होती है कि जब बोलने के लिए सदन में नेता खड़े होते हैं और विपक्ष खड़ा होता है तो विपक्ष को ज़्यादा मौका दे देते हैं। ऑफ द रिकॉर्ड कई बार ऐसी चीज़ें आई हैं कि ये बातें आ गई हैं निकल के कि आप हमारी तरफ ध्यान नहीं देते, सत्ता पक्ष को ये कहना पड़ता है। तो समझा जा सकता है कि जिसको जैसा इन 5 सालों में मौका मिला है, उसने उस कुर्सी की टांग खींचने में कोई कोर कसर नहीं छोड़ी। सबने अपने अपने हिसाब से ऐसा कुछ किया है कि जिससे सरकार में कोई दिक्कत हो, क्योंकि हमें याद है 50 से ज़्यादा विधायक फ्लाइट बुक करके दिल्ली चले जाते हैं,
Okay.
सड़कों पर हंगामा होता है। दिल्ली और रायपुर के बीच की जो दूरी थी वो खत्म हो गई थी, और एक दिन की बात नहीं थी, 10 दिन से ज़्यादा हंगामा चला। टीएस सिंहदेव आए दिन कुछ ना कुछ बोल देते हैं और उसके बाद कहते हैं कि मीडिया तोड़ मरोड़ के पेश कर रहा है। तो समझा जा सकता है टीएस सिंहदेव भी उस गेम को खेल रहे हैं कि वो छूते हैं और पीछे चले जाते हैं। वो छूते इसलिए ये बताने की कोशिश करते हैं कि मैं भी दौड़ में हूँ। अब जो जिस तरीके का उनका बयान आया था कि मैं मुख्यमंत्री नहीं बना तो राजनीति से संन्यास ले सकता हूँ, उसके बाद चर्चाएं ये हैं राजनीतिक गलियारों में अंदर खाने से कि टीएस सिंहदेव ने उस मामले के बाद फिर सफाई दी है और ये कहा है कि मेरा वो बयान नहीं था, मेरा वो मतलब नहीं था, मैं ये नहीं कहना चाह रहा था। तो ये समझा जा सकता है कि जो नंबर्स हैं वो नंबर्स डिपेंड करते हैं कि कांग्रेस सरकार बनाएगी कि नहीं। नंबर्स आने के बाद
that's what it is, Deepak. It all boils down to figures. If there's a thumping victory for one party over the other, they've got 10, 20, 30 seats beyond the halfway mark. The resort politics is irrelevant. They prepare for it because remember the Congress was caught napping in an election in Goa when they were the single largest party, should have ideally with a few others formed the government, but hey presto, it was a BJP government or BJP supported government that was formed in the state as we speak. All right, let's open it up to a more generic conversation. You got a base on the various states. Let's go back to the battle for Rajasthan. Now, Megha and Uday are still with us. Rajasthan, ladies and gentlemen, is important. It's important because there is an issue within the Congress. In places like Ajmer, in Tonk, in Dausa, in Savai Madhopur, areas which Sachin Pilot is going to have to influence the election. He's going to have to get in, importantly, the Gujjar vote bank into the Congress fold once again. Will those people, will they be voting for him, knowing full well that he might not become Chief Minister? Who knows? There is a Vasundhara Raje factor over here. She's been very quiet. Many people who track the BJP well know that things have been difficult there, uncomfortable there. There have been many other contenders for the Chief Minister's post, but they want the party to fight as a unit. So who's got that figured out better is probably the context. Let me go across to Uday first this time around. Uday, so what's happening now? What is the buzz on the ground telling you? Who's figured in getting the balance right, in getting party unity? Because we know that divisions exist, discomfort exists on all sides.
Absolutely, Rishabh. If we talk about, the BJP first, then you're right. Yes, Vasundhara Raje, of course, has been their face in Rajasthan for the last many years, ever since she took the mantle from Bhairu Singh Shekhawat, the former Vice President of India, someone who, of course, was their tallest leader earlier in Rajasthan. She's been a two-time Chief Minister. However, this time around, the BJP deciding not to project a CM face. Yes, you're right. It has been, of course, an experiment of unity, of displaying one face with multiple leaders on posters, not just one face with, of course, the Kamal Ka Nishan is the only face. That's what the Prime Minister announced at one of the campaign rallies, and that became the motto of the BJP. However, the fact is, once, it comes down to the numbers in Rajasthan, on ground the buzz is, Rishabh, if it's over 120, seats that the BJP wins by today, then it could be anyone. Then the party high command will decide and everyone will have to fall in line. If it's close though, as some exit polls are saying, then perhaps the BJP might go back to Vasundhara Raje and say that you are our best, chance to form government, get in touch with the rebels, get in touch with the independents, get in touch with the smaller parties and go and form the government and you will be the Chief Minister. That's the buzz on ground. However, will that translate into reality or not? We'll have to wait and watch. The other contenders also are keenly watching out. People like Gajendra Shekhawat, some are in the fray like Rajendra Rathore and Satish Punia as well. Congress camp, yes, there has been a curious silence from Sachin Pilot. Although, yes, there have been two rallies where Rahul Gandhi, made him and Ashok Gehlot hug, had their hands holding and all of that to put out that public face of unity. Although we've seen the public bickering that has happened. Sachin Pilot this time around only addressed 20 public meetings compared to 200 that he did in 2018. So obviously there is a difference and that's going to affect the Congress party in East Rajasthan.
That's the translation. I think you got to bang on. If it's close, then it's the incumbents. It's Vasundhara Raje, it's Ashok Gehlot who have the advantage in returning, because remember last time around, many people could argue that the rebels of the Congress that eventually came back into the fold to help form the government were particularly close to Gehlot, perhaps even rebelled because of him, and the muscle flexing goes on. Megha is back with us. Megha, so what's the buzz on the ground? Are people expecting, on the basis of exit polls, the people you've been interacting with, a close contest, or are you getting a buzz that whoever you speak to, they are fervently in favor of one or the other?
The opinion at this point of time, the anticipation, what they at this point of time are hoping and expecting out of the election, the counting that finishes today, is starkly different when it comes to the Congress and the supporters of the Congress and the people who have voted for Congress and Ashok Gehlot, because they at this point of time are saying that the number of welfare schemes that have been launched by Ashok Gehlot, and the topmost amongst them is the Chiranjeevi Health Scheme, wherein people, after having deposited about 8,000 rupees for an entire year, are allowed to get the benefit of 25 lakh rupees. And there is a projection of, if the election gets won by the Congress once again, that amount is going to be increased to 50 lakh rupees. So this is in direct contrast to what the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Arogya scheme has been. And if you go onto the ground and talk to the people, they are more interested to tell you, they are more gung-ho about the fact that this state government scheme has taken off. So that's one of the key factors that I was able to gauge when I spoke to the people. And then there is also these factors about giving freebies when it comes to electricity, 100 units of electricity being given to the people free of cost. Then you talk about how mobile phones have been given to women. Then there talks about how jobs have been provided. Yes, there have been a number of these scams, particularly with regards to what we had been seeing in the news in terms of the recruitment scam that had come out, in terms of a number of safety issues. Women's safety has been, of course, a top concern with the BJP, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who was also over here doing these massive roadshows, had raised these points. And of course, the Lal Diary, who can forget that? Vaibhav Gehlot, who had been number of times probed by the Enforcement Directorate. So that question was also an important factor on which the BJP has been fighting.
Megha, that all winds up in the election, of course. But as we speak, election is over. The question now just is what the figures turn out, right? And it's going to be very interesting. Remember, for Vasundhara Raje, this area around Kota in Jhalawar, which has been a stronghold which she inherited from, as Uday mentioned, Bhairav Singh Shekhawat. This is going to be crucial. So keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for Dausa. Keep an eye out for Tonk, for what happens in Ajmer, what happens in Savai Madhopur. There are smaller battles, but are going to give you a larger picture, because who knows what is going to happen in just a few hours from now. If it's a thumping victory one way or the other, well, party high commands get a lot more comfort in figuring things out. Could there be a generational change? If it is attempted, will one of the leaders simply walk away? Let alone, like Jyotiraditya Scindia split the party 3 years later, will they split the party today, forcing potentially a crisis, a political crisis in the state? Very difficult thing. The last thing an MLA, regardless of whether they've been involved in one camp or the other, the last thing they want is to face another election after they have won an election. And don't underestimate the power of holding on to power if you got it in the bag. Jay Prakash, who's seen it all over the part of the last 3 decades, is with us. JP, where you are sitting, and there are a lot of people from your home state in Karnataka who have been involved in the election process. Many, I'm told, have already flown in. Some are flying in today. What are they expecting? Are they expecting that this is going to be perhaps close? Some more resorts will have to be booked today. That who knows what's going to happen? Or are they expecting a thumping upset?
Rishabh, 2018 elections, we saw Karnataka MLAs being brought to Hyderabad. DK Shivkumar led that entire pack to Hyderabad here, and we saw how JDS and Congress came together. And forever in the last 2 decades, resort politics, revolved around Karnataka politics. Now, this time around, there are 5 observers, and last night, KJ George and DK Shivkumar both have landed in Hyderabad. They stayed put here. KJ George, very close to the Gandhis, and he's been often called the money bag for the Gandhis. DK Shivkumar, the troubleshooter, who's got great organizational skills, he's also here. These two personalities in Hyderabad tells a lot that anything is a possibility. And this time around, you have about 28 of the erstwhile BRS MLAs who crossed over the Congress party and who contested elections. Are they the Trojan horses? This is also one of the theories which is being floated, that the BRS has opened channel with their earlier MLAs, and deliberately to beat the anti-incumbency, they didn't give them tickets and they told them to contest from other parties. So, it's a layer after layer when you talk about, political conspiracies and theories here in Telangana. If it's a close fight, remember it's 119 seats, so every seat is that much important. When you talk about vote share, 42% was BRF, the Congress was around 18 to 19%. This time there is a massive shift. The vote share of BRS, according to the exit polls, comes down to around 31%. Congress goes up by 41%. You have BJP and MIM also in the frame. Now, there are also allegations that BRS, BJP and MIM might come together if it's a close fight. The Congress, to hold on to their pack of MLAs, it's important. They are well above the halfway mark, which is 60. So they need to be around 80. If it's around the 67, 70, then it's a matter of 8 to 10 MLAs, and anything is a possibility. That's the reason why the Congress has got their troubleshooter and their money bag already here in Hyderabad. Right now, I am at one of the key constituencies, the Chandrayanaguda constituency of Akrabuddin OSC. This is a Nizam College. In about 15 minutes time, the counting will start. The senior officials from the Election Commission have already come. The ballots are all lined up. It's huge security ring. Nobody is allowed inside. Such is the situation in many constituencies.
Okay.
About 35 to 40 constituencies in northern Telangana, central and southern Telangana. It's a close fight. So they expect some kind of violence that might break out. If the vote margin is somewhere between 2,000 to 5,000, they may be asking for recounting. There might be some mobs which will charge at the polling station. Anything is a possibility. But the indicators, of course, will be around 11 o'clock when we get those initial trends as to how the Congress or the TRS is leading.
Okay,
it's going to be clean sweep either for TRS or for the Congress.
Okay, so you're expecting one way or the other. Who knows? It could be one way or the other. But remember, for the Congress, it's a contest. It'll be a big upset returning to Telangana. Remember, it was the leader of the now BRS who rebelled against the Congress and the UPA for the formation of the state. Then subsequently, after the central government under the UPA agreed to the formation of the state, wiped them out, and they lost everything in Andhra and in Telangana. But for the Congress, it's a contest. For KCR, it's an existential crisis. This is everything. There's no other state. There's no Rajasthan. There's no Madhya Pradesh to take away victories from. It's an existential crisis. So either they take it and remain relevant in politics, or are wiped out from the political scene, at least for the next 5 years. Who knows what happens over there. Atyab Sheikh joining us now from Indore. Atyab, good morning. How is it shaping up this morning? How are things on the ground? What's the buzz and what are we expecting? Okay, let's make sure that we have the audios connected so that we don't waste time. Deepak, can you still hear us? Deepak, okay. So Deepak, let me put it in perspective for you. In the BJP ranks, there is a clear contest at least available for us in the Congress ranks. We know it is Baghel, it is probably T.S. Singhdeo. They'll have to figure it out, depends on the scale of the victory. BJP ranks mein kya contest hai? Is it Raman Singh? Are there others who are still in the fold, or do we looking at a fourth time chief minister?
देखिए, जिस तरह की चर्चाएं हैं और जिस तरह की खबरें तैर रही हैं, उसमें एक बात तो साफ हो गई है कि जो रमन सिंह हाशिए पे चले गए थे चुनाव से 3 महीने पहले, पूरी सत्ता मिल जाती है, पूरी पावर मिल जाती है, पावर सेंटर हो जाते हैं। अरुण साहू के प्रदेश अध्यक्ष रहते हुए भी रमन सिंह के मन मुताबिक टिकट बटे, और तो और रमन सिंह के परिवार को, इनके भतीजों को, उनके भांजों को टिकट दिया गया, और इन 90 सीटों में 25 से ज़्यादा ऐसी सीटें थी जो रमन सिंह के करीबी थे, और तो और जो पहले के विधायक थे या जो हार गए थे, चर्चा ये थी उनको टिकट नहीं दिए जाएंगे, लेकिन उसमें काफ़ी सारे ऐसे रमन सिंह के करीबी थे जिनको टिकट मिल गया। इस चीज़ को लेकर अंदर खाने जो राजनीति के जानकार बात करते हैं, और हमने भी जब राजनेताओं से ऑफ रिकॉर्ड बात की तो उन्होंने इस चीज़ को माना कि अरुण साहू की उतनी नहीं चली जितनी चलनी चाहिए थी। अब चर्चाएं ये हैं कि यदि किसी तरीके से सरकार बनती है, यदि कोई बीच का रास्ता निकलता है, तो रमन सिंह को पावर सेंटर बना के उनको सत्ता सौंपी जा सकती है, और 2024 का जो चुनाव होगा उस समय वो दिल्ली जा सकते हैं। इससे पहले रमन सिंह से जब लगातार ये सवाल होता था कि अब आप दिल्ली चले जाएंगे या आप गवर्नर बन जाएंगे, तो इन सब सवालों को नकार देते थे, क्योंकि उनको भी पता है कि दिल्ली जाने के बाद नेताओं की क्या स्थिति है किसी से छुपी नहीं है, तो वो दिल्ली नहीं जाना चाह रहे थे, क्योंकि वो दिल्ली से एक बार आए थे, उसके बाद वो 15 साल मुख्यमंत्री रहे, अब वो दिल्ली वापस नहीं जाना चाहते। लेकिन चर्चाएं ये हैं कि यदि जोड़ तोड़ करके यदि कोई ऐसा समीकरण बना के सत्ता में भारतीय जनता पार्टी लौटती है, तो 2024 तक डॉक्टर रमन सिंह को सत्ता सौंपी जा सकती है, और उसके बाद उनको दिल्ली भेजा जा सकता है उसी सीट पर, जो यहाँ खबरें हैं, जो राजनीति के जानकार बताते हैं। उसके बाद उसी सीट पर जो उनके बेटे हैं अभिषेक सिंह, जो राजनांदगांव से सांसद भी रहे, उनको उसी सीट से चुनाव लड़ाकर उनको सरकार में मंत्री बनाए जाने की कवायद की जा सकती है। लेकिन ये सब चीज़ें भविष्य के गर्त में, क्योंकि 46 का मैंडेट आपको चाहिए, और जो मौजूदा एग्जिट पोल में, जो सर्वे में जो चीज़ें निकल के आ रही है, उसमें भारतीय जनता पार्टी को मात्र 36-38 से जो सीटें हैं वो मिल रही है। अब समझना ये होगा कि यदि इतनी सीटें मिलती है, और भारतीय जनता पार्टी का जो कॉन्फिडेंस है, जो एकदम ऑप्टिमम लेवल पे है, चाहे फिर वो अरुण साहू हो, चाहे वो डॉक्टर रमन सिंह हो, वो किस तरीके से उसको मेकअप करेंगे, वो किस तरीके से बाकी के नंबर्स को जुटाएंगे, ये देखने वाली बात होगी। क्योंकि लगातार अब चर्चाएं ये भी है कि एक राजा और दूसरा ठाकुर का जिक्र हो रहा है डॉक्टर रमन सिंह के लिए, राजा का जिक्र हो रहा है टीएस सिंहदेव के लिए। इन दोनों के बीच में जो तालमेल है, आपसी जो एक जुगलबंदी है, क्योंकि दोनों एक दूसरे का रिस्पेक्ट करते हैं और दोनों एक दूसरे के बहुत अच्छे संबंध हैं, तो चर्चा ये है कि ठाकुर को राजा के पीछे लगाया जा सकता है, ताकि जो सत्ता है उसको किसी तरीके से हासिल किया जा सके।
Okay, you can clearly tell that Deepak works for our sister organization India News. He loves the turn of phrase when it comes to the colorful reporting. But yes, that's exactly how it is. And ladies and gentlemen, the vast amount of the country that votes loves the turn of phrase. They expect it from our politicians as they expect it from our journalists on the ground. Maybe if you're not following it on the ground, we miss out on the flavor. Let me just touch base with Uday again. We've got a couple of minutes before I need to take a break. Priya Sehgal, our editorial director, also joining us in the studio. So good morning to Priya as well. Uday, now in terms of how the flavor of the election cycle has now concluded. Okay, all right. So I'm going to request our reporter just to settle down, okay, so that we have some clarity. Megha, I'm told with us. Megha, I'll put the question to you. In terms of the flavor of the election cycle, as we are translating this, what is the connection in Rajasthan between what happened in 2018 in the assembly elections, where the Congress did enough, just did enough, 0.5% extra vote share that translated into just enough seats to form the government, but a complete disconnect in the Lok Sabha election when suddenly it was a BJP sweep?
You're absolutely right. In fact, the figures that we had put out just a while ago, 2018, the BJP had won about 73 of those seats. The Congress ended up winning just about clearing the margin of 102. Now, there were these 5 BJP MLA defections that had taken place from the Mewar region, which is the eastern side of Rajasthan, and that made all the difference. And here again, we are talking about these 10-15 of these seats to whichever party these MLAs are then going to be defecting. So the area that at this point of time the politicians, the leaders, the Congress and the BJP will be focusing on is the Mewar region in the eastern side of Rajasthan, because that's where we saw the flip-flop taking place in 2018 as well. So that's again an important region. You're talking about Vasundhara Raje, and her bastion, her gad as we call it, is Jhalawar, and it's Jhalara Patan is where she fights from. It is just close to Kota. So this is in the south southern part of Rajasthan. And obviously Vasundhara Raje currently at this point of time is in Jaipur. Her residence is in Civil Lines, just a couple of kilometers away from where we are standing. And there's likelihood as the numbers trickle in, she is then going to be heading to Kota, heading to Jhalrapatan, and she'd be going and visiting the temple because that's the tradition that she follows.
Yeah.
She has never forgotten to make that parikrama, make that visit to the temple before then going and visiting the people or talking to the media, and obviously coming to the election.
She's been very quietly holding the fort. And I would use the word quietly because Vasundhara Raje is not a quiet personality. If anybody's interacted with her, knows her. She's a pretty in-your-face personality. But she's been very quietly holding the fort. Many people would think that her politics would not have lasted out so long, but she knows that if it's a close contest, it's her. Okay. Otherwise, there's a fair chance that there's an alternate that the BJP looks for as Chief Minister. Uday is with us. Uday, how has it panned out? How is a very large personality? I mean, we saw during the last cabinet, Vasundhara Raje, she did not even have, loyalists. She had fan followers. A very large personality like Vasundhara Raje has been rather quiet for several years. I mean, we've seen all the excitement happening between Sachin and Gehlot, but we haven't seen much of it come out publicly in the BJP at all.
Absolutely, but that's how the BJP is, Rishabh, currently with a strong high command. There is a very less public bickering that happens in the state units, and in a weak high command like what we see in the Congress party, the bickering comes out as we've seen in multiple states in the public, including of course in Rajasthan, but also in other states like Madhya Pradesh and other states too. So if we talk about Rajasthan, of course, and Vasundhara Raje, yes, she has been clearly the tallest leader that the BJP has had in Rajasthan in the last few years. However, her public presence has been restricted to, of course, religious functions and, of course, shows of strength during her birthdays the last few years. So her birthday in March becomes a show of strength where every year she goes to, either to Salasar Balaji or to Bundi or to, a different part of Rajasthan every year where there's a big gathering. Of course, it happens in the disguise of a birthday celebration. Yeah. It happens in the disguise of a pilgrimage, but it is been interpreted as shows of strength to the BJP leadership that she is the only one in Rajasthan who can still galvanize the kind of crowds and also the kind of leaders, because on the stage with her at all these gatherings every year have been multiple sitting MLAs, sitting MPs, former MLAs, former ministers, and that's something she tried to do in the ticket distribution as well. Because remember, after the numbers come out, it will depend on how many loyalists you have who will back you, which is why in the second and third list this time, we saw many of her loyalists still repeated, still retain and get tickets. In the first list, the eyebrows were raised because many Vasundhara Raje loyalists did not get tickets or were dropped. So people wondered that has she been cut out, but it's second, third list, many
so the balancing act has to be
did continue to get...
Balancing act has to be figured out. Remember, it's not just political parties and at the highest levels that are fighting. It's at every single level. Political futures and careers get decided. I'm told Ehtiyab is with us now from Indore. Ehtiyab, what's the buzz around you? Is it pretty quiet because people know it's going to be one way or the other, or is it genuinely a close contest that we can't predict it?
Absolutely, you are absolutely correct, Rishabh. We cannot predict it. This time around, we had witnessed one thing, that the voter was absolutely silent. But as far as the happenings around in Nehru Stadium is concerned, yes, definitely the counting is supposed to start in a few minutes from now, but I'll just take you to the visuals. Rishabh, I've never witnessed anything like this. This time around, the entire Nehru Stadium has been decorated. Indore taking the initiative that this is a festival of democracy, and this time around, Indore has taken an initiative that even the counting centers had been decorated like anything. So this is something very different. I had been witnessing most of the politicians from Indore who had been coming to the center right now. I saw Tulsi Ram Silawat coming here. I saw the Congress city chief coming out here. Yeah. And the buzz is the same. It's almost the same as if they are just waiting for the results. It is the same as students wait for their results after the examination. This exactly is the buzz around in Nehru Stadium in Indore.
Okay, well, we'll touch base with you as the buzz translates into far more excitement into who's leading, who's winning, who's losing. Like I said, if it's close, it's going to be a long day. But if it's one way or the other, we'll know just in a few hours' time. Okay, Atiyab, I'm going to thank my reporter.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.